Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be going over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers injury report for their Week 10 matchup versus the San Francisco 49ers. This video is sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino, by the way. More about them a little bit later on. On Wednesday, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers conducted a walkthrough practice, so a lot of this was an estimation as to whether or not these guys would or wouldn't have practiced, so we'll dive into it. And also today we're going to dive into the San Francisco 49ers side of things. I've seen a few comments that people want me to dive into those, so we will do so at the end of this video as well. But starting off with the Buccaneers side of things, Ben Bredeson is still limited with a shoulder injury, although he has not missed any time. He will, in my opinion, probably be likely to go. He's been a fine guard for the Buccaneers throughout this season so far. Evan Deckers seems like he's getting closer and closer to returning from the injured reserve, the Buccaneers long snapper. Of course, they have had Zach Schreiner as the team's long snapper. He's been a long-time Tampa Bay Buccaneer, but they had finally made the switch to Evan Deckers from Zach Schreiner, and then Zach Schreiner got hurt. So it is what it is. We will see if Deckers can be able to make a full return this week, and we'll have to monitor that going forward. Mike Evans would not have participated in Wednesday's practice if it was a full practice. Again, that's really nothing new considering all we've been hearing has been, well, Mike Evans' best chance to come back is at the earliest the bye week, after the bye week, I should say. So I don't expect Mike Evans to play in this game. Greg Gaines would have been limited with a calf injury. Now, Greg Gaines has been banged up here the past couple of weeks, has missed a couple of games, and I think that has been some valuable depth the Bucs have been missing along that defensive line. And yes, while you have had Vita Vea get 2 sacks last game, while you did have Kalijah Kancey getting 2 sacks last game, honestly, I think Greg Gaines would be playing meaningful snaps if he were healthy. So we'll have to wait and see how he continues to get healthier going forward. Will Golston is still on the injury report with a knee and ribs injury. He would have been limited in Wednesday's practice, but Golston's been able to play through injuries pretty much throughout the entirety of this season. I have no reason to expect anything different. Bucky Irving would have been limited with a toe injury in Wednesday's practice, I should say. It's the same toe injury he's been dealing with for a couple of weeks now. However, I believe that he will be fine going forward. He hasn't missed any time because of that toe injury, so I do believe he will be fine. Baker Mayfield is actually on the injury report with a toe injury. He would have not participated in Wednesday's practice. I will say Greg Auman did provide an update in terms of Baker Mayfield's injury and whatnot. I believe that he had said that Mayfield would have been good to go. By the way, real quick, Mike Evans was working on the side with a trainer, so he is still ramping up to be available after the bye week, so to speak. So, but in regards to Baker Mayfield's injury, I know people are like, whoa, what's going on here with that? Oh my goodness. Baker Mayfield is going to be fine by all accounts. So we'll have to wait and see how he kind of continues to recover from this toe injury. Jalen McMillan did not participate due to a hamstring injury. It's really unfortunate. The Buccaneers are so banged up in that wide receiver room. He continues to be hurt, and we'll have to wait and see how that affects his game going forward. Real quick, guys, before I continue, I do want to say yet again thank you to the sponsor of this video. It is BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. Guys, if you use the promo code YouTube150, you get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next 2 deposits. That is all up to $2,000. Again, thank you so much to BetUS for being a proud sponsor of this channel. Back to the injury report, and it's J.J. Russell on the injury report now. Linebacker with a ribs injury. He would have been limited. Sterling Shepard, hamstring, hip, would not have participated in Wednesday's practice. Dude, the Bucs are so banged up at wide receiver. Like, are we going to start seeing are we going to start seeing Marquez Callaway out there? I don't know, man. Tanner Canoe, is it time? Because the Bucs just can't catch a break. Their entire wide receiver room is hurt. With McMillan and Shepard also being hurt. You're probably going to see more of the running backs in this upcoming game. Also going to see probably a healthy dose of Cade Otton and maybe even some Payne Durham in there as well. But we'll just have to wait and see if those guys can play. I believe Sterling Shepard did play last week, but McMillan didn't. Also, Trey Palmer is like the only. He's even been on the injury report and missed multiple games this year. So the Bucs can't catch a freaking break in that wide receiver room. Vita Vea would have been limited with a hip injury, and Jordan Whitehead would have not participated with a quad injury. So a very long injury report for the Buccaneers. Again, you have 3 more wide receivers on this. Your starting quarterback is on there. Multiple starters on both sides of the ball. It just sucks, man. It sucks. But there is that next man up mentality that is always prevalent, that is always there. The 49ers have a lot of injuries of their own. I mean, let's kind of dive into it. Nick Bosa was on the injury report, and they didn't have a walkthrough, by the way. Nick Bosa, hip injury, he was limited. Chris Conley, wide receiver, didn't participate. Kevin Givens was not participating due to a groin injury. Some of the other high-end starters, Jawan Jennings, limited with a hip. Christian McCaffrey was limited with an Achilles injury is what they name it. Now, it's going to be interesting, very interesting to see if McCaffrey can play in this game. Jordan Mason's been doing a great job as the backup running back, but of course you can never replace fully what Christian McCaffrey is doing. So far he has been limited. There is optimism from San Francisco, according to all the reports and whatnot, that he could play in that game, but ultimately we're going to have to wait and see. Jake Moody, kicker, limited with a right ankle injury. Deebo Samuel, rib, oblique injury. He was limited. You have Charvarius Ward, personal. He did not participate in Wednesday's practice. Trent Williams had a rest day. It is what it is. But you've got a lot of stars injured on that 49ers team as well. Again, star Nick Bosa, star Jawan Jennings, in my opinion. Jordan Mason, was on the injury report with a shoulder injury, but he was full go. Christian McCaffrey, limited, star player. Deebo Samuel, star player. Brandon Ayuk's out for the year, by the way. Javarius Ward, star player, didn't participate. Trent Williams had a rest day, so it is what it is. But the 49ers also have some injuries of their own. They are also down one of their star receivers to a season-ending injury, and we don't necessarily know how healthy Deebo Samuel is going forward. So they've certainly got some injuries, but this still will be an incredibly tough matchup going forward. And of course, we will talk about it later on in the next couple of days. But the Bucs have some tough injuries themselves, man. I mean, again, the wide receiver room is just absolutely decimated. Is it Ryan Miller's season, man? Is it Miller time? It feels like Miller time. Shout out to Trevor. Because quite frankly, the Bucs are just so banged up at wide receiver. Ryan Miller is your number 2 right now. That's crazy work, because Ryan Miller wasn't even on the original 53-man roster of this Tampa Bay Buccaneers squad to enter the regular season. Now he finds himself possibly as the number 2 wide receiver going into this game. Marquez Callaway, a guy that was signed off the couch a couple of weeks ago, genuinely might be your wide receiver 3 going into this game if McMillan and Shepard can't go. So it's crazy work, man. It's a bad time. Mayfield's going to be fine, I believe, by the way. He did a press conference after Wednesday's practice. He doesn't like the overtime rules, by the way. Basically just about everybody else in the world. But it seems like he'll be fine. It seems like he'll be good to go if he's up there talking to the media as well. Bucky should be fine. I think Vita Vea will likely be good to go. Jordan Whitehead's an interesting one. I'm going to be making a separate video talking about not Jordan Whitehead, but hey, maybe a name the Buccaneers could bring back. I'm sure you guys already know who I'm going to be talking about later today, but with some injuries to the safety room, maybe the Bucs could bring back a familiar face. We'll see. But they're banged up, man. I mean, that wide receiver room is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, and Liam Cohen's still cooking. The defense is not. We know how bad the defense is, but the offense has been making it work with literally, and no disrespect to the players, but literally scraps, man. Literally scraps. So Liam Cohen's been an absolute dog. The Bucs offense has been fantastic under the combination of Cohen and Baker Mayfield. And yes, they do have a lot of injuries, and yes, it is really crappy and really unfortunate, but I do believe they will be able to continue to persevere over those injuries on offense. despite being down so many wide receivers defensively, we're going to have to wait and see. But guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions about this injury report down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.